So the main priority of the marshals is to ensure the safety of all the racers. So our key role is to advise the racers to follow the highway code. So if you're on the bike course, don't go through a red traffic light, for example. That happens a lot. Knowing to follow the instructions that we give them in the race pack and in the briefing, including all the BTF rules like no nudity in the transition and that sort of thing. And to use caution and good sense at all times. So we want to make sure they have a safe and enjoyable race. So most of the time you're just giving directions. For example, if you're on the roundabout, you might just be telling people, to continue straight. If you're on the run course, and they've got to turn right, you just indicate right. And if anyone's not done the race before, it'd be a really good idea to read the race pack so you know what the course is, so you can actually tell them where to go. So you have to know the course as well. We also warn riders, for example, of any approaching hazard. So we can't tell them at a roundabout, yeah, go now, hurry up, because that could be a problem if they do have an accident that comes back to us. So you can warn them about hazards. So if they're approaching a roundabout, say, careful, the car's approaching. So you can't tell them when to go, just tell them when not to go. Secondly, keep an eye out for drafting. So we are kind of policing the course to make sure everyone's, safety and fair play as well. So on the bike course, basically, if you see people just tailgating each other, for quite a distance, if you can catch their number and report it to either me or we have an official BTF race referee, and they'll get penalised. So thirdly, we're quite famous at Thames Turbo for encouraging people. So you're going to get a competitor list, which looks something like this, with all their names and numbers. So if you're on the run course and you see number 15 approaching, you say, well done, Harry, and they actually love that. It's a very kind of friendly thing, and everyone gives us really good feedback about that. If you're at the roundabouts like Hampton Court or Chertsey, it's really important to keep an eye out for competitors going the wrong way, because when they do, they always blame us for, it wasn't clear or something, even though there's marshals, there's signs everywhere. So let's encourage them to go the right way. There's also a lot of traffic at these roundabouts, so we have a lot of people, we have extra marshals that it might seem like you're not doing anything, but we really need you to be highly visible. You're going to have one of these. We have big cones saying cycling event. So that approaching cars from the other directions get the sense there's something going on. We can't control the traffic, can't slow traffic down. All we can do is be as visible as possible to the other traffic, really. So on the run course, there's also an area where they go wrong. There's a couple of turn-offs, and there's a place where they do the first lap and the second lap. There's no way of knowing if they've done 1 or 2 laps, but if they're unsure, you just say, have you already come past here before? And if they say no, then you have to do, send them the right way. So other general advice for the marshals, for everyone, tomorrow, make sure you know the location and position of where you're going to be tomorrow morning. After this, we have another little team meeting with your team leader. So for example, if you're working on the run course, your team leader is Ben, and you can have a little meeting with him. He'll run through, make sure you know where you're going to be, exchange phone numbers. So tomorrow morning you can go straight to your location, and you have to text him to make sure he knows you're there, and then we know we're all set. Everyone out on the course will need this competitor list, which also has the emergency action plan on the front. On this emergency action plan, it has the paramedics' numbers at the pool. We have a paramedic in the park. Has my number and Chad's number. If there's an accident or issue anywhere on the course, so your priority is to stay safe yourself. Don't go running out into the road. If someone has an accident, keep calm, keep off the road until you assess if it's safe to go and help them. I would try and stop any approaching cars if there's people on the road. Signal to them from the pavement, don't just run out in front of them. If you can assess any injuries, and unless you're medically qualified, the advice is to call the paramedics here. If you think it's bad, you can just dial 999. And then basically, if you have an opportunity, once it's safe, everything's secure, call the marshal coordinator or me, and we have to report the incident. So there's a form we had to fill in, so try and take down their name, their race number, any details of what happened. If there's cars involved, take their registration, phone numbers of drivers and so on, as much detail as possible. When the last competitor goes past, we have someone called the race sweep. who'll be a competitor from Thames Turbo. He'll have a marshal bib on, and he'll come past, say, that's the last person. At that point, you can collect all the signs in your area. If you're on the bike course, the bike sim marshal, you can go through that with him, what you have to bring back, the same on the run course. On the run course, it might mean just taking everything to where the van is parked, loading up the van. You don't have to bring it back here. When you finish your main job, come back here, look for Chad or myself. You get a food voucher. You go to the cafe. You can have it's a baguette with bacon, egg, or something like that, and a hot drink. Have a little break, and then come back to report to me or Chad. Don't disappear at this point.